Hi, I'm Rachel. Welcome back to Auxhart Gardening. Today is a bit different because I am not growing vegetables, I'm growing mushrooms, and I'm not really here to tell you how to do it because I don't know, but I wanted to share with you guys the process that I'm going through in trying to introduce edible mushrooms to my entire gardening ecosystem. So this season I'm going to be trying a few different methods of growing edible mushrooms and doing so outdoors in tandem with everything else that I'm doing in my garden. And one of those methods is growing mushrooms on logs. I'll additionally be growing mushrooms in the pathways of my garden, and I've got a couple other things that I'm going to try out. That'll be an entirely separate video, so you can stay tuned for that. But today I'm going to try out inoculating logs with mushroom for the very first time. So, growing mushrooms on logs, the first thing I had to do was source the logs. And I got incredibly lucky because I was talking to my dad and I was like, "Hey Dad, you're a dad who knows things. Where do I get fresh cut hardwood logs?" And he was like, "How about the backyard?" So very conveniently, he had just cut down one of the oak trees in their backyard. He had already cut it into firewood-sized pieces, so that's why these are the size they are. A lot of people will do much longer logs. But it was already cut, fresh cut, and in these logs, and I thought that was absolutely perfect because it was free and it was fresh. And so we took the time to drill some holes for inoculation. And then I learned that the kind of mushroom that I ordered, while it can be used with this method of drilling holes, it is better with a different method. So today I am not only inoculating logs for the first time with mushrooms, but I'm also kind of winging it in terms of the methodology. And from what I've read online, I think it's gonna work, but it's gonna be a big experiment. So I'm not gonna teach you today exactly how to do this, how big the holes should be and all of that. I got all of my information from North Spore, and that's actually the place where I learned in the first place that I could grow mushrooms outdoors in my garden. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them the link below in the description if you want to dive into all of their educational resources, and they're also where I bought my mushrooms from. And they seem to be really good at providing the educational content to go along with their product, and I really like that. But basically what you're going to see me do today is stuff sawdust spawn into these holes and seal them with wax. And after I've done that with all of the little holes, I'm going to split the logs into two groups. And one of them, I'm going to additionally apply the totem method. So this is the, I don't know what they call it, I guess plug spawn or log spawn method. And then the totem method, you wouldn't normally drill these holes. You would just stack your logs vertically on top of each other and put the mushroom spawn in between them. And so since all of them already have these holes, for the ones I'm going to try out totem method, I'm just going to do both and see what happens. So they do make tools for this that make this much easier, but I'm on a pretty tight budget, so instead of spending a lot of money on a tool, I'm going to spend my time manually stuffing sawdust into all 200 of these holes. Hey guys, it is the next day and I spent so much time working on those logs. I did not have the energy to close out this video, but before I do, I did want to talk about the placement of the logs. Normally people recommend placing them on a pallet so that they're close to the ground but not actually sitting on the ground, so that other mycelium aren't trying to get up in there. And I don't have pallets, so I put down a layer of sticks as a barrier between the logs and the ground. And now we wait. It'll be something like 6 to 12 months before the mycelium has fully colonized those logs, and then after that another period of time until they're actually fruiting. So the update for this video will be maybe next year sometime, but those of you who do end up seeing it, or who are lucky enough to discover this video after the update has happened, I will make sure to link that. And again, if you're really interested in growing edible mushrooms, especially in the garden, you can subscribe and follow along. I'm going to be growing some wine cap mushrooms and some oyster mushrooms in the garden this year, and I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to share with you about it, and I'm also going to be putting out a video not just how I'm doing that, but why I think it's important to think about adding mushrooms to your garden. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, we wish you happy gardening.